Welcome once again to another video. This video will be about how to complete the vCISM Lab12. And this is creating and removing a virtual VM. So let's take a look here. Lab 12, first thing we do, here's our objectives. We're going to create a virtual machine, remove the virtual machine, register the virtual machine to re-add it to the inventory, and then delete the virtual machine from the data store. In other words, a permanent deletion. So I'm right here at the task 1. We just expand that and complete this. So using the vSphere client, log into VCSAO1. So I'll log in there. Right click Lab VMs and select New Virtual Machine. Okay, so the inventory, go to VMs and templates, inventory, we'd go here first, inventory, and then VMs and templates. It's the second icon from the left. Right click Lab VMs and select New Virtual Machine. So Lab VMs is here, then right click it, New Virtual Machine. The New Virtual Machine wizard appears, that's right. On the select creation type, verify that create a new virtual machine is selected, click next. It is. Next. On the selected name and folder page, enter the VM name and choose the VM location. Okay, so what is the name and location? Photon-empty. Photon-empty. And leave Lab VMs selected. It is. Click next. And I kind of highlight this to keep my place a little bit so it's easier to look back and forth. On the select a compute resource, expand ICM data center lab server, select SA-ESXi02. So we're going to expand, select ESXi02 and click next. On the select storage page, select iSCSI Datastore and click next. There it is. Next. On the select compatibility page, just click next. On the select guest OS, select Linux. And select VMware Photon OS 64. There it is. Photon 64. And then click next. On the customize hardware page, for CPU have 1, that's correct. Memory 1 GB. And then for new hard disk, enter 12 GB. Okay. Expand the new hard disk and select thin provision. Expand. Select thin provisioned. Got it? Okay, where were we? Right over here. For network, do production. Network. I'm going to put that back together. Try to close that up. Network will be production. That is selected. And for CD-ROM, select Datastore ISO. Datastore ISO. Select ICM Datastore. Click in the ISO folder and find Photon 3. Well, there's ISO. Didn't see it for a moment. It's right in front of me. Photon 3 something, that's it. Click OK. Expand the new CD-ROM drive, select Connected Power On. Check. Click Next. On ready to complete, click Finish. You might want to spend a little time checking and making sure your selections are right. Finish. In the navigation pane, verify that Photon Empty appears in the Lab VMs folder. Okay, it's right here. It just created itself. It's right there. Select Photon Empty in the navigation pane. Selected. Now in the Summary tab, review the settings in the different panes and verify the settings are correct. Okay, we have 1 CPU, we have 1 GB of RAM, a little less than 16 GB because of our overhead for storage. In the summary, check that, we just did. Which data store is the VM located? Okay, we can go right down here to related objects. It's on ICM Datastore. Okay. In the related objects, why are 2 data stores listed under the storage? If you see something like this, you're not sure of the answer, you can always go right here to the answer key. And it says ICM Datastore holds the ISO image that the VM has mounted. iSCSI holds the VM's virtual disk and configuration files. So here's your explanation. If you're ever not sure of the answer, you can check the answers right there, and they explain it very well. Next, okay, we're down to the summary. We've done completed task 1. We'll go to task 2. I will mute for a moment while I cough. All right, there, I'm back. Task 2. Remove the virtual machine from the inventory in the navigation pane. Right-click the Photon Empty, right-click it, and select Remove from Inventory. Okay, Remove from Inventory. Now we want to see if we're correct. To remove Photon Empty, the thing I want to do is make sure that I actually selected the right one, and then click Yes. So we removed it. We did not delete it. There's a very big difference. So verify that this does not appear in the navigation pane. It's been removed. It's not there. Verify that it still exists on the iSCSI Datastore. So we'll go to Storage, select iSCSI Datastore, click Files, and then View and make sure it's still there. So we click on Storage, go over to the right and click Files, and then let it catch up a little. Then we're going to verify that the folder still resides on this data store. Oops, not there. I selected the wrong one. Okay, Photon Empty is here. Photon Empty is here. So we selected iSCSI Datastore, Files, and now we see that our VM's files are still here. We just removed it from the inventory, which means don't list it in the current inventory. And we've completed task 2. Let's look at task 3. In task 3, we're going to register the Photon Empty virtual machine to re-add it to the inventory. So in the Photon Empty folder, select the Photon Empty.vmx. Okay, so we're going to expand this. And we have to expand this so we can see which files we're looking at. The .vmx file is right here. And we want to register the VM. So it says click Register VM. Select Lab VMs for the location. Click Next, and then compatibility, no change there. Click Next, and Oh, I missed something. Select the name and folder, Lab VMs. Next, select SAESXIO2. So we have to have a place to run it. And there it is. We're putting it back on SAESXI2 where it was. Click Next, and then Finish. So you've re-registered the VM back to where we removed it from. We removed from inventory, and now we put it back. Now we'll click on Task. Let's see. Click VMs and Templates and verify that the photon empty appears. Okay, let's do that. VMs and Templates. And as you can see, it's back because we registered the VM back. That completes task 3. We'll look at task 4. You delete the virtual machine that you created to familiarize yourself with the process. So now we're going to right-click Photon and delete it. Very different than what we did before. We right-click and select Delete. Delete from disk. Let's make sure we selected the right one. Photon empty. Just take a moment anytime I delete something. Yes. Verify that Photon empty does not appear in the navigation pane. That's correct, it's gone. And verify that Photon empty is deleted from the iSCSI Datastore. From the iSCSI Datastore. Alright, we'll go back on Storage and then click the iSCSI Datastore. And it was previously right here, and now it's completely gone. That's because we selected delete instead of remove from inventory. And that is the end of the lab. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the lab.